Welcome or welcome back to Győr for the final of the women's tournament of this 2025 European Championship. A surprising game between the Netherlands and Italy. I'm super happy to have an expert with me. She traveled all the way from Canada. She is the head coach of Canada. We shared some emotions last year in North Paris Arena when you seeked the bronze medal with your team, Nicole Ben. I'm so happy to have you with us for this final.
Thank you for having me.
Well, what about this game between Italy and the Netherlands? Not quite a surprise to see Italy reigning champion in Europe. They qualified without any trouble yesterday against Ukraine. But what about the Netherlands? They had a great semi-final against Slovenia, defeating them in the tiebreak. They were led 2 sets to 0, 25-14, 25-18. It's such a huge surprise to have them into that final.
It really is. It's great to see a young team that's developing and that's willing to fight and battle, and that's really what we saw yesterday, is they didn't give up and they believed in themselves the whole time.
So I will not ask you to go into predictions, but we will say Italy is favorite today. Netherlands is clearly underdog against Italy. Would you be the coach of the Netherlands today? What could be some kind of game plan to try to beat Italy? It will not be easy for sure, because Italy has some strong players all around the court. It's not the same as Slovenia or Ukraine with one very strong player that you want to block. The danger is almost everywhere on court.
Exactly. I think some tactics that Netherlands can bring into this game is serving aggressively. That really helped them yesterday and throughout this whole tournament. And I think also they're touching a lot of balls on defense. So they're keeping the ball alive, they're keeping the ball in play. If they can limit their errors, then they can make Italy really earn their points. And I think that will be something that can be a huge factor. And as you said, Italy has a lot of threats, so they're going to have to be ready for a lot of firepower coming back at them.
Well, the two teams know each other. They played during some friendly games. They also played during the round robin. An easy victory for Italy. Italy has a lot more experience than this Dutch team. They played last year in the Paralympics. They played the World Super Six against the best teams in the world, which is not the case of these very young teams from the Netherlands. This is also something, when you play a final, when you play for the medal, the experience is a huge factor.
Yes. I think that's what Italy has on their side, is their experience, and they've played in big games, but it still doesn't mean that they won't be nervous. They've been here before, and they've got to show up and play.
Did you watch the game yesterday against Slovenia, the game from the Netherlands?
Yes, of course.
So how do you explain this completely switch into the situation? Slovenia almost had the ticket for the final, 25-14, 25-18. What was the difference on the Dutch side? Because they didn't change a lot of players. Of course, they put Ruth Breurs in at some point. They didn't change a lot, but everything changed on court. They found some momentum. They were fighting much better.
Exactly. You said it. I was just going to say, volleyball is a game of momentum, and it's a game of believing in yourself. So you can see it from their coach on the sidelines. She's never giving up on their team. She's always supporting them, continuing to give them information from the sideline, and that transfers from one player to the next, and you really could see that at no point did they doubt themselves. That's huge, and hopefully they can bring that today.
I could see you yesterday discussing a bit with Saracirelli in the stands. Do you know in what spirit is Italy today?
I think they're excited to play. They've been here before, as I said, and they've competed in big matches, and so they're ready. And I've done a bit of coaching in Italy. I'm not sure if you're aware, with the club team there. So I know these athletes very well, and I saw them this morning. They're ready to compete, but they know that this is not a given. They need to show up and they need to play. And I think what we'll see from them is strong serving as well, but they're a great defensive team. It's so hard to play against them that we've done it for years, and they're very frustrating to play against.
Yes, of course, when you want to win gold, of course you have to be focused. You cannot come on court just being sure you will win it. We saw many surprises in this event, both in the men and in the women's tournament. And nothing is never over until the last point is scored. And this is maybe the lesson of this week's here in Győr.
Exactly. Always believe in yourself, keep going, keep battling. And I think every tournament we've seen over the past quad for sure, and now into this one, someone's going to upset someone. So don't turn this off. Keep watching to the very end.
Yeah, we had a great lesson yesterday. After 2 sets, nothing in done is volleyball. And that's the reason why we love that sport. You have to be focused until the very end. We'll see what this young team from the Netherlands will be able to do against Italy. The two teams are warming up. The Netherlands will play in the traditional orange color. Italy will be in white. We mentioned it, experiences for Italy. The recent result between the two teams is for Italy as well. But it's a final, and both teams, of course, would like to have gold around their neck after this game. Well, on the Dutch side, we also have very good servers. a lot of them went into the best server of the team through the competition. Yesterday it was Vitska Terpstra, now it's Renske Denhan. We also saw Sanne Dubelin coming in for the serve, having some great streak. This balance that we know from volleyball, serving against reception, is the same in sitting volleyball.
Yes.
You have to be really aggressive to avoid the other team, to have great reception, great set, to put the hitters in the best condition.
Exactly. And that's something that's a strategy that I've always talked about in sitting volleyball, in any volleyball. But the team that serve passes, so serves the best and serve receives the best, will ultimately, in the women's game at least, win. So let's see who shows up today and can do that.
Well, a lot of fans know a lot about the rules of sitting volleyball, but we will go through them again for those who do not know exactly. And with the serve, I mentioned it, but I don't know if people do believe me, because I'm not a player. You're a coach, they will believe you. What is different between sitting volleyball and volleyball is the fact that you can block the serve. So it's not only about targeting an area, but also to avoid the block. And that's make a huge difference, because the depth of the court is only 5 meters. And you need to find a solution to both avoid the block and to target the receiver you want to.
Exactly. I think the block is a huge factor, and that's something the Netherlands does very well. They have 3 blockers at the net. They'll move their block in front of you, so Italy's going to have to find those lanes in the court, and if you're serving up and over, you have to actually take something off of it so it drops in the back of the court. So it's a huge strategy to use your blockers at the net.
We saw yesterday in the semi-final against Serbia between Bosnia and Herzegovina that also you can have the strategy to aim at the blocker, to play the counter block. Does this exist as well in women's sitting volleyball that you use this?
I think that is something we do with one of our servers actually, is to serve at the edges of the blocker's hands to actually try and get that touch and earn a point, or to have your blockers ready to counter block exactly that. It's more risky, so it depends on the coaching style, but it is a strategy for sure.
Well, and the counter blocker need to have a perfect timing to go in front of the blocker, otherwise it's too late.
Exactly. It's about tracking the serve and then being able to turn and counter block right on time. Something you need to practice for sure.
Yes, of course. This is high-level sport. If you never tried sitting volleyball before, just try to sit on any court, try to serve. It's not easy. It's nothing like just sitting volleyball. It's called sitting volleyball, but it requires a lot of energy for the player to move on court so fast. We have the tactical aspect, technical aspect, but it's a lot of energy to play in such high-level games.
Yes, exactly. It's actually probably about who can move and still play the ball will be the team that wins, not sitting and staying still.
The two teams line up, and they're ready to come on court. Italy in white, the Netherlands in orange, for this women's final of the 2025 European Championship. It's Saturday, it's final day. We will have the national anthems of both teams before the game gets started. A lot of emotions for both sides for sure.
National team of Italy. Before the match, please rise for the national anthems. At first, the national anthem of the Netherlands.
And we'll start with the national anthem of the Netherlands. And for Team Italy, it's time for Fratelli d'Italia. Always a special moment to have your national anthem being played before a final. Well, both teams have some fans behind us in the stands. Team Netherlands have the men's team supporting. Team Italy has the men's team supporting as well. It will be a great atmosphere around this final. It's something we have to mention. It's a sports competition. You want to leave the trophy, but everything went in such a perfect atmosphere here in Hungary.
Exactly. It's great. It's great to hear it.
Well, the traditional handshake between Italy and the Netherlands. And we will go very quick into the starting six. Not quite sure we'll get a lot of surprise on the starting six. They will just play the strongest player or the most in shape players onto the court.
Exactly. I think we'll see what we saw all tournament, but here we go.
Two international referees for this game.
The international referees of the match. Please welcome the first
Tomáš
referee,
Bucha
Mr.
from the
Tomáš
Czech Republic
Bucha from Czechia.
will be the first referee, and the second one
The
is
second
Mirza
referee of this game
Basic
is Mr. Mirza Basic from Bosnia and
from
Herzegovina.
Bosnia and Herzegovina. Two very experienced referees for this final. Do you know them? Did you get any issue with some of them? No.
The head, one of the referees is the same ref we had in Paris during our bronze medal game, so no surprise to see him here.
Of course. Let's go with the starting six of the Netherlands. Renski Denhan, the captain. Marit Holleda, young player, 19 years old. Paula List. She's the experienced player of this roster. Emma Duiveman-Makewan, number 9. Vitska Terpstra, one of the setter of this team. And Sanne Westenberg. The Netherlands play without libero. We will talk about this just a bit later, because Italy has one in the roster. For Italy, the setter Giulia Belandi, Roberta Pedrelli, the captain Francesca Bosio, Eva Ceccatelli, the experience, Eva Saracirelli, one of the best blocker of this Italian side, Raffaella Battaglia, the same starting six as yesterday, and Silvia Biasi, the libero. They decide to play with the libero because Silvia Biasi is a great addition in the back row.
Yes, exactly. She's a great libero and has been since we played against them for 10 years.
You see the two rosters led by the head coach Zhao Hong for the Netherlands. A lot of very young players around Paula List. She was already playing at the Paralympic big games in 2004 in Athens. She won bronze, you mentioned it, in Beijing 2008. What a long way for her. The team sometimes topped in the Netherlands, and then she's back with this young teammates. It's always a great addition to have a very experienced player in the roster.
I agree completely. I saw her before the game and I said that to her. I'm like, this is some leadership that they really need. And of course she brushed it off being a pro herself, but it really makes them stronger and she can keep them level-headed and all those things we talked about before, believing in themselves and being ready to battle.
The first serve of this final will be for the Netherlands. And for the number 9 of this Dutch team, Emma Duiveman-Makewan. She was a bit struggling yesterday. At some point she got replaced. She's the only VS2 player of the roster. We are waiting for the first whistle. Here we are. The women's final is underway. First reception, Saracirelli. Battaglia digged. Westenberg for the first point. She found some empty area between Biasi and Cirelli.
Exactly, that's a great lane. We talked to our athletes about hitting into that lane because there isn't a defender there. Good shot to start the match.
Well, that's something. If the Netherlands can take the lead, Italy is not used to react this week. They were almost all the time in front.
Let's see how they respond here.
Cirelli, great reception. Belandi with the back set, and Bosio blocked by the Netherlands.
Good movement by the blocker there to close that scene.
That's a great start for the Netherlands. Bosio didn't score that much yesterday in the semi-final than she did previously this week, but she's still a very good player.
Yeah, she's one of the best attackers in the world. I don't expect another error from her here.
Another serve on Cirelli. She's the target for the moment in reception. And when it doesn't work with the strong spike, the tip is always a good solution.
Exactly, and just as I said, puts it in the court, earns her team a point. She's reliable. We expect that from her.
And she's the next to serve for Italy. Let's see how the Dutch reception will respond. Yesterday they were struggling a bit against Slovenia at the beginning of the game. 3 blockers in front of Bozio. Reception for Dwieman McEwan. List from the back row. Cirelli cannot full send it. Denhan with the tip. Great dig, Biasi. Another time Cirelli was far away from the net. Tapstra, this set was not quite good. Too much spinning in the air. Double touch.
Yeah, exactly. That one's going to get called every time. The setter's not square to the antenna, and then they're turning to try and set that ball. Doesn't come out clean.
Well, Italy is using Cirelli a lot when she's sitting in the front row. She's able to find a lot of different angles. That's super difficult to dig.
Yes, exactly. And out of the middle, it's hard to see the block sometimes, but she has very good vision at the net and can pull the ball either way.
Bozio towards position 1. Ace for the Italian captain on Dwieman McEwan.
That's the serve we're used to. Great flat float. It's hard to receive.
And Italy is in front, 3 points to 2 in this first set. Another tough reception for the number 9 of this Dutch team, and they will directly adapt with 4 receivers now.
Let's see if she changes where she serves to here.
New target. Paula Lis takes the reception. Not high enough. Yeah, Bozio is doing well. Well, Westenberg can also be a good target. She was struggling yesterday with reception. Yeah. Ace between Paula List and Sanne Westenberg.
It's tough because when you remove that blocker, it gives one of the best servers a very easy lane to serve into. So smart tactical decision by Bozio.
And again, they change the reception. Bozio changes as well her target. And for the moment, the Netherlands are not able to find the solution in reception.
Well, let's see if there's a, yes, timeout here.
Well, at some point you have to stop things. They decided to adapt on court. It did not work.
No.
And it's super hard when the server is like having so much confidence when serving. She was able to adapt on the spot when they changed something in the reception.
And that's that experience you talked about, right? Looks across the net, picks the best lane to serve at, and can hit that serve the same every single time. It's floating through the air, so it's hard for the receivers to track it and get behind it.
Yeah, and when the receiver is like struggling with the reception, then mentally it's also hard on the next one to be confident.
Exactly, and that's where this is a perfectly timed timeout here. Let's see if they make any adjustments. Probably just building some confidence, letting them know they can do it.
Well, that's the only thing they maybe discuss about how to find a solution in reception and to give some kind of average ball to the setter. Not even a perfect reception, but just some time for the setter to go under the ball.
Exactly, that's what we would talk about. Ball high in the middle, slide in there, set and out of the system so they can get an attack back. Let's see.
3 blockers, 3 girls in the line to receive. A bit less space for Dwieman McEwan, covered a bit by Holleder. Again, great serve there towards position 1. Tapstra, free ball Italy. Battaglia finds the solution.
Great set there by Belandi, wide open down the line. Great swing.
Well, and same as yesterday, Dwieman McEwan is really struggling in this first set.
There we go.
Why changing the target? Bozio decided to aim at least because there was some space there towards position 5.
Exactly. Like I said, they moved the block even farther over, so she took the lane, and sometimes that tactical decision can work. It gets in the server's head. Good job by Netherlands.
Tapstra, easy reception for Biasi. Battaglia, this is 100%. 2 attacks, 2 points for her.
And another great set there. Putting the ball high, creating lanes the attacker can swing in all directions.
Well, I mentioned it yesterday, I don't know if you agree, but Belandi is probably one of the best setters in the world.
Yes, yes, she's definitely one of the top setters. Best setter in Europe for sure, in my humble opinion.
And again, a lot of pressure on Pedrelli's serve. 4 receivers.
She was serving great yesterday too.
Holleder, where's the set? This ball over the net, the 2 times up. Point to be played again.
Exactly. For people that don't know, who don't watch a lot of sitting volleyball, that's a held ball, so it's always a reserve in sitting volleyball. Not so common in the indoor game, or at all. There we go.
Another great serve by Pedrelli. But for the moment, the serve is just too aggressive for the Netherlands. Blocked and counter-blocked. Another point.
Just like we were talking about before, I don't think that was planned to be a counter block or a strategy, but number 6 turned there, counter blocked perfectly. Great touch.
This ball will come back, but out. Well, that's quite a free point when you try to send a free ball and you make the mistake. It's super frustrating.
And you can see it all over their faces. They just need to relax. Your arms get a little bit tight there with that free ball coming over, and it forces it out of bounds.
Well, yesterday they needed 2 sets to relax. So maybe today it's the same, but against Italy, you don't have that margin.
No, you definitely don't. And there's an unforced error given to Italy there. That's something that they need to be aware of. Oh, looks like a challenge here.
Yeah, video challenge for net touch. Net touch was called against the Netherlands, and of course, they try at least to interrupt the game with this video challenge. We'll see the result on the screen. If there is a yes or no net touch, on-court decision is yes. And Italy is doing really good at the serve without taking any risk, because we talk about risk and reward, but for the moment they're just serving good, average plus, not a lot of risk. No mistakes so far, only Bozo in the net, but that's the only one.
I agree completely. They just have a really flat hand behind the ball with that float, and it's making it difficult. Yes.
Yeah, the answer is yes. Sanne Westenberg touching the upper part of the net. It's the only part of the net that we consider in sitting volleyball. That's also a difference with volleyball.
Exactly, because of their limbs going under the net and their ability to need to be able to move, it makes more sense just to have the top of the net not being able to be touched. Yeah.
Double touch Belandi. She was still falling down when trying to set that ball. Finally, the Netherlands are able to side out, but it's already a 10 points difference in this first set. That's huge.
Let's see how Italy responds here. This is a different rotation here. In rotation 5, you'll see Belandi coming across. Here it is set. It's not something commonly seen in sitting volleyball.
Cirelli with the reception. Belandi with the close face to score a point deep into the court. Well, even when the reception is not perfect, they find the solution to score the point.
Always, and when they're playing, they keep the ball in play and they make the opponent earn their point. And here, we just need the Netherlands to get a dig and they can play out of it.
Good reception, at least for the set. Marit Holleder able to find the solution.
There we go, a good pass, a set, and then they're able to attack, and Italy doesn't have an answer there.
Well, we didn't see a lot of sets so far on the Dutch side because the reception was just not good enough.
Exactly, it's been a huge difference so far. Serve-pass game, it's everything.
Yeah, Sanne Westenberg. And she's the best server of the team.
Yes.
That's the funny thing, and she completely missed it. We can feel a lot of pressure.
She actually just pointed at her head. I don't know if you saw that. She's saying, yeah, that's me, it's mental. They know.
Yeah, because of course she knows how to serve.
Yes.
And some unforced whistles again, Italy.
Into the net off the serve. It looked like there might have been a touch, but they're saying no.
Well, it's not very often that player agree with the referee's decision.
Exactly.
Or the coaches.
I would maybe try to throw a challenge in there, but with this score, I'm not sure you need it at this point.
Cirelli for the reception. This ball comes back on the Italian side.
There we go.
Bozio for the conclusion.
2 dumps there by Belandi. The passes were just a bit tight, so she's just saving it, keeping it in play. She will attack sometimes with her left hand, and that's a weapon for sure.
Yeah, we saw her yesterday a lot of time faking the set and going on her own.
Exactly. It's something that I really think is great.
And this is an ace for Italy. This ball is called in, served by Eva Cecatelli. And it's likely that the Netherlands will challenge the call.
Yes. I think it might have just tagged the line, but we don't have the best view here. Eva's a great server. She's very tactical. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, the call is in or out. On-court decision is in. And Hong Zhao uses that time to discuss with the players. It's in.
Quite in. But once again, maybe used tactically here. I think that's a smart challenge. Another great serve.
Ceccarelli doing a good job. We mentioned yesterday, she's not the most impressive player on court, not scoring 20 points per game, but she's not having a lot of mistakes.
No, she's smart. She's a coach herself. She knows the tactics of the game. She knows how to manage her game. She's experienced. She's wise. That's all you need from an athlete.
And the players, I was commentating yesterday with a player from Germany. She said with the pads she's wearing, when she hits the ball at the net, you have no real idea where it's going. The trajectory is sometimes a bit weird.
Yeah, it's a little bit hard to read for sure, but with our athletes, we talk a little bit more about watching her body because there's some tells she has in her body to know where she's going to attack, actually.
Well, that's already the advanced level of sitting volleyball, right?
Exactly. A little bit of insight into my mind.
Second time I call for the Netherlands. The lead is, of course, a big one for Italy, 21-6 in this first set, where we knew it would be a hard game for Italy, but I'm still surprised to see how much pressure there is on the Dutch side of the net. I would say, you know, they're underdog today. They have nothing to lose, so they can just try something, and we did not see them for the moment trying a lot.
No, I think they're probably feeling a little bit defeated with their serve receive right now. Italy's doing a great job of finding those seams in between the passers, and they're kind of looking a little bit unsure of what to do, but make a move, get into those lanes, get the ball high like we talked about, and they can play out of it.
Well, and for Italy, there is no reason to change anything for the moment. The plan goes perfectly. They want to keep their title, the one they held at home for 2 years in Caorle.
Exactly.
But they finished second in the recent Golden Nations League against Ukraine, which was quite a surprise for Italy not to lift the trophy on Sunday. Well, today is Saturday, but the last day of the competition.
Yes.
And of course, they want to do so today.
Yeah, they want to take this gold home for sure.
Vestenberg. This reception is a bit too deep, but great fight at the net by Driven and McEwan in front of Bozio.
Exactly. I always talk to my athletes about keeping the ball in front of them. So when you get those, even if it's tight and sitting volleyball or back over the net, the play continues. So that ball's tight, the athlete's able to play it off hands. It's a point. It's a great choice by the middle blocker.
Holleder with the serve. It's deep, and it's an ace. Battaglia and Cirelli discussing together, but none of the girls decided to take the reception.
Exactly. Netherlands taking a page out of Italy's book and finding those seams on the serve.
Target's the same for Holleder, and Battaglia is struggling. Well, with her disability, reception is not the easiest. I mean, they're super skilled even when they are like upper body amputee, but receiving is not easy.
No, exactly. It's very difficult. It's something they've liberoed her out in the past. They've used different lineups, and so it's something that I'm sure she practices a lot, but it's just very hard.
Francesca Bozio to get this side out for Italy. Italy is only 3 points away from winning this first set. Giulia Belandi aiming at Marit Holleder. She gives almost a free ball to Italy. Battaglia, dig by Vestenberg.
Exactly what I was going to say. At this point, the Netherlands can build for the next sets, and I think they need to be more aggressive. If you put something back easy at Italy, they will slam it down right back at you like we just saw.
Belandi, launch angle a bit too high.
Contact under the ball there, and that's a thing with sitting volleyball. You really have to make sure you're in the middle of the ball or it's going to sail.
And we're back with Duivem and McEwan.
Let's see if they go after Battaglia here again.
Good reception, Cirelli. Pedrelli takes the set and block out Battaglia.
A great back set there. That's not really easy opening up and setting behind you, but she makes it look easy.
And this is a first set point for Italy. Well, they have 14, should be enough. Bozio with the serve.
Oh,
Pedrelli.
misses long.
Completely mishit that one in position 2.
That's where the oh came from, because I know she can attack very well out of the right side. She just came under the ball and mishit it a bit.
Terpstra with the serve. The young Dutch setter. Pedrelli and Belandi almost not communicating together on who will take this ball contact. Normally it's for the setter, but it came towards Pedrelli.
I think that's exactly it. It's a miscommunication, and at that point, I would be telling my attacker, just get out of there. Let the setter do her job, even if it's tight. She's talented. Let her set.
Bozio from the back row. The dig from Terpstra. Westenberg in between Cirelli and Pedrelli. Well done. She had 2 blockers in front of her. Cirelli was just a bit late, maybe.
Exactly. It's an incredible shot. We saw it in some of the games this morning, the men's bronze medal game. That ball off the inside hand of a middle blocker, almost impossible in sitting volleyball to dig.
Biasi for the reception. Belandi has to move, but great set for Battaglia. And Cirelli concluding into Sanne Westenberg head. Well, that was not on purpose. Of course not.
Definitely not, but that's that vision I talked about. There's a blocker there. She cuts it around the blocker, and unfortunately, the defender coming off the net.
Well, we already saw it yesterday for the Netherlands. It was Witske Terpstra lying on the floor.
Yes, I was very worried when I saw that yesterday. It looks like 11 here's doing better.
Well, you're much more surprised than really injured when you get the ball. It's not pleasant.
No. Exactly, and in sitting volleyball it happens so often because the court is so small and the game is so fast.
25-30 in the first set is for Italy. Well, they just went in control in this first set, took an early lead. Of course, the Netherlands tried to adapt, tried to find the solutions, but the gap between the two teams are for the moment too big. It will not prevent the Netherlands to party tonight because they have one of their players who is partying for birthday today. Maya Vissa will turn 17. She's turning 17 today. 17.
Oh
Yeah, that's a long time ago for us.
Right? They're so young. They have so much potential with a young group here.
And she's the youngest of the roster, of course. We saw one girl being 15 in the Ukrainian roster, one being 15 later with Germany. That's an early age to be already playing at international level.
Exactly, traveling. But it's great experience, and some of the best players in the world, the setter for the USA started when she was 14. She's still playing now, and she's incredible. That experience over time, you really learn.
You have back in Canada already very young players included in your roster or in training camps?
We have our youngest athlete right now just turned 19, and she is on our roster and travels with us, but we have some other younger athletes who are in the development program. So not traveling with us, but once they start to show potential, it's something that we would fast track as well, as we are in a rebuild, so we're looking for athletes.
Well, that's one of the topics when it comes to para sports, to find athletes eligible to play, because we will see later today Bosnia and Herzegovina. This team almost won everything possible on hers in Paralympic Games, but it's a team getting older and older, and at some point they will have to bring some young lads in the roster as well, because this will not last forever.
Exactly, and a lot of countries have either semi-professional leagues or development leagues that they have going on, but it's not the same as wearing your flag on your chest, representing your country and feeling that pressure like we've talked about here today. It really is valuable experience to be able to travel and compete with your team.
Well, Italy looks to be super confident in this final. They took an easy first set, 25-13. Let's discuss about the solutions for the Netherlands in this second one. Well, receiving better is something, not letting the gap being so big at the beginning of the set. In terms of player, is there any chance to see a substitution, or shall we keep the same 6 players?
Right, that's a great question. I think they could make a substitution here. Let's see if they do, but I really think it's just tactical on court. Like when they adjusted that block against Bozio and she missed, I think they can do more of that early. Show them a different look, make changes, and kind of get in that server's head.
Well, we have the answer on the starting 6. It will be the same both for Italy and the Netherlands.
It's always interesting. I always wonder, if you keep them the same, would you start differently? Would you change something, give them a different matchup? But maybe that's not something they're trying to do yet.
Well, I'm not a coach, but maybe you have an idea. What I saw this week, you always try to start with your best server to try to create an early gap. This is not always the case in volleyball, where you put your best spiker in the front row to have him on 3 positions. Here you want to start with your best server.
Exactly. It's something that's changed over, I don't know, my time as a coach within sitting volleyball. I think we were thinking about the attacking before, and we realized how valuable that serve is, and now most teams exactly are doing that. They're starting with their best server, and even 2 if you can. If you have a 1-2 punch in there, try to get them going early. We do the same thing.
Well, the best is if you can have your best server at the serve and your best spiker on the front row.
Exactly.
That's not all the team that can have such a full roster. The first point is for the Netherlands. The second one is for Italy. Den Haan. She was not in a good position to swing that one.
Exactly. The dynamic movement needed to get off the net and then back on the net with that set so you can attack on the top of the ball is so important. And when you're falling down like that, you just got to keep the ball in play.
Pedrelli, a good serve. Cirelli takes the first contact. Block out Battaglia.
Another great set and a good attack. That block out shot off the outside hand is my favorite shot in all of sitting volleyball. You can't stop it. No one's chasing that ball down.
Good counter block by Paula List on Eva Ceccatelli.
Another pass tight to the net. Holland's able to block it and get the point. Keeping that ball in front of them has been a good thing.
Well, for the scenario of the set, we would hope that Netherlands are able to stay a bit more in contention with Italy.
Makes for a more fun match to watch as well.
Renske Den Haan, Dutch captain. Belandi moves really fast to get this set. Westenberg dig by Belandi. Great dig, Den Haan. Again. And Biasi quite surprised by Westenberg playing this ball directly. That's also a great weapon when you don't use the 3 contacts and you send it directly. It can be a bit surprising for the defense.
Exactly. I'm not sure if you guys noticed there, but they were making a switch in the defense. So Biasi was moving to position 6 and she wasn't there and stopped on time. Because of the rotation that they're in right now, it's a bit more difficult on defense.
Biasi is the target. Westenberg and a lifting call against Ceccatelli. And the Netherlands are in front.
Exactly. Momentum on their side. Good start for the Netherlands.
Well, maybe they have a bit less pressure on their shoulders now that they lost the first one.
Probably what their coach said in between. Shake it off, just play. Nothing to lose here.
Well, the reception was pretty low, but Italy could find the solution with the connection between Cirelli and Ceccatelli.
Exactly, an adjustment there. So Belandi was passing rather than setting. Gives 3 blockers at the net. Even though it was a low pass, they're able to side out.
Raffaella Battaglia. Terps tries the target. The reception is too long, but good block by Paula List. Ceccatelli digged. Neither Den Haan nor Westenberg can take a good contact. This ball is out, and here is the equalizer for Italy, 4-all. Paula List for the set. Den Haan from the back row. Ceccatelli on the line. She saw some space between Westenberg and the antenna. Den Haan was there, but not able to dig. Well, she also has a lot of angles, because we saw her spiking on the big diagonal, and now she's hitting the line.
Exactly. That's that vision. She sees the blocker. She's able to turn the ball. Great shot. Oh, not enough there.
Holleder was not able to send this ball on the other side of the net. And that's now 4 points in a row for Italy. Difficult reception again. Den Haan.
Great touch. Not enough. Again, those serves going into the seams like we talked about between the passers, and now we see Netherlands is having a difficult time.
Belandi takes that swing. That's a point for the Italian setter.
The benefit of having a left-handed setter. Good choice there. She just needs to stay a little taller and not hit the tape.
I'm not even sure we have to call her a setter. She's like a setter hitter.
She's everything. It's great.
Paula leads the set for Den Haan. Well, that's a huge unforced on the Dutch side of the net. And look at the scoreboard, already a 5-point lead for Italy now.
The difference in serving here.
Another ace for Battaglia. Terpstra is not able to find the good ball contact. And this will be a timeout called by Hong Zhao. Well, they are on an 8.20 run. That's a lot.
And most of them not returned back to the Italian side. And when it is, it's going to Vazio in position 6. She's able to dig, play out of it.
I have the feeling we said for less than 1 minute that Netherlands were in front.
We did. And then the service game. I think they can make a tactical adjustment here with the blockers, like I talked about. And then maybe the serve can come up and over and not be as hard. Let's see if they come out of the timeout and do that.
Yeah, for the moment it's just too easy for Battaglia. She's just targeting Terpstra all the time. They did not change anything at the block or something for the moment.
No, they slid the passers over a little bit to change who it was going to, but it hasn't changed the outcome. So I would move the blockers here now, give her a different look.
You should be connected with the Dutch coach so she can have your idea of the game plan.
It's easier to be here and
of
at the back of the court than on the court coaching, but it is the part of coaching that I love.
The good thing for you today, you will do a lot less steps than when you are coaching, because you're just walking so much during a game. I don't know how you do this.
I try to sit on the bench because I'm tall and I don't want to be like on the side of the court standing, and then I just run back and forth. I know.
Believe me, you're not able to sit on the bench for more than 2 points in a row. You're not able to.
I know.
Well, this brings also some good energy to the team to see you moving around. Great swing from Tirelli. And this timeout for the moment did not change anything.
They've left that gap in the block. I'm just not sure if it's helping them. She's continuing to target it.
Yeah, and then it comes in the interval between Duiverman and Terpstra. And none of the girls took it. Now Holleder is coming to help with 4 receivers. Will Battaglia change something? Ceccatelli counter blocked. Oh, Belandi a bit greedy. Maybe she was a bit far away from the net to do that.
Yeah, I think there she needs to keep that ball in play or hit a little bit higher off the hands. That's just a very hard ball to cover on her own side.
Well, I'm sure you were waiting for this substitution with Sanne Dubeling coming for Sanne Westenberg. Her task is to serve good, and she did well yesterday.
She really, really did. I think it was a difference maker in the game, and it's a hard role to have, and if you can get an athlete that owns that role, it's incredible.
Battaglia has a good reception. Ceccatelli. Den Haan cannot do better on her dig. And Sanne Dubeling will stay on court. She also showed some great digging skills yesterday, if I remember well.
And at this point, why not? Make a change, see if it can change the momentum a bit here.
She's the target. Well, Cirelli went with a strong serve.
Oh, they've closed the block here. Good tactical choice. But now the other side of the net's open.
Oh, and Duveman McEwan is quite lonely there in position 5. But they're targeting Den Haan. Holleder against Belandi, and net fall called against the Netherlands.
And after getting blocked on the last attack, Belandi chooses to use both hands and pick a side. I think that's the experience we talked about. It's so smart. She's not getting blocked on that one. It's going straight down. And then there's a net touch.
Well, substitution is reversed. Westenberg coming in again. And the Netherlands had the 4.22 lead at some point. They are on a 13-1 streak. Strong serve by Cirelli. Push deep towards position 1. This ball is still back. Oh wow, miracle dig. Well, Italy had to fight a lot to bring the ball back, and then we knew that the Netherlands had good soccer players, but Den Haan showed some skills with her foot.
She really did. Both sides, 2 very good plays on both sides.
Cirelli bit too long.
That serve going up and over the block, and when it goes over the block with the pace that they're hitting it at, it's just going long out the back. You need to take a bit off of it or around the block.
Paula List, the experienced player of this roster. We mentioned it previously. She got a bronze medal at the Paralympics in 2008.
Mrs. Long as well, just contacting under the ball.
Substitution for Italy. They have a comfortable lead, and Pedrelli will leave the court. And in comes Anna Chechon. She turned 45 last week. She's not one of the youngest players of the roster, but always useful.
She's been subbed in a few times during this event, and she's newly classified as a VS1, so that helps them with something tactical off the bench. Great shot there.
Well, of course, if Italy is able to have all the girls involved in the final, they will try to do so.
Definitely.
Marit Holeda. Battaglia with a good reception. First point for Chechon. And Biasi quite surprised there.
And you saw that a few times yesterday in the semi-final when they're attacked at position 1, Italy struggles. They need to get that dig nice and high and then set out of it. Also tactically something that the Netherlands might be thinking about.
Good reception. Cirelli. Double touch whistled against Italy.
Back to my comment before, let the setter do her job. Let the setter set the ball.
Holeder. Another good serve on Battaglia. Great reflex. List. Cirelli from the back row. Very interesting and well hidden by Bozio just in front of her. It was not only getting from the back row, but also having a combination with Bozio asking for the ball.
Exactly, and then picking aside. There's seams on both sides of that block, and that's where the defenders on the Netherlands need to slide into those seams.
Substitution for the Netherlands with Roos Broers coming in for Marit Holeder. Griezmann McEwan a bit stronger than Chechon on this blocking contest.
Oh, with a reserve, not a point for the Netherlands.
Quite surprised because I had the feeling he first gave the point to the Netherlands.
I think he did, and I'm not sure if the down ref called something different. I'm unsure.
A short discussion between Bozio and Den Haan.
Bozio seems okay with it, of course, because it benefits her team. I'm not sure about Den Haan.
Well, the result is the same. This point has to be played again. Belandi. Free ball Italy. Cirelli from the back row. Is there any block touch? The on-court decision is no.
The same set we just saw, but that time not picking a side. So like I said, there's one blocker ahead, but the sitting volleyball court is far too small to swing directly to position 6 on a back row attack.
Griezmann McEwan is the next one to serve for the Netherlands. In front of Cirelli, she moved well to get it. Bozio blocked by Westenberg.
A very good block movement and then a good press back into that seam on Bozio. Great job.
And Italy calls a timeout because the Netherlands, well, they're still 6 points behind, but they're fighting back and they're trying to create some kind of momentum. And Italy absolutely don't want to struggle in this second set. It's a timeout called by Pasquale Daniello. Well, it's good to see that the Netherlands do not give up in that game. They try to adapt, try to find solutions. Of course, they are still behind, but we saw some good situation. They're not only struggling with reception now.
Exactly, and that's the difference of yesterday, right? They kept trying different things, they kept battling, they kept competing, and then they found themselves in a 5th set. So let's see what they can do here. Italy doesn't look too stressed here, though. They're pretty calm coming back on the court. They're talking tactically. This is a rotation that they've had a bit of trouble with here. It's rotation 1. Let's see who Netherlands serves to.
Well, I fully agree when I see Italy, but I had the same feeling yesterday with Slovenia. They didn't look to be any stress in the first 2 sets. Absolutely no. They were so confident they would be in the final. Well, Italy is another level.
Yeah, it's true, but sometimes that's where you can get them. It's like, get comfortable and we're coming. So I think Netherlands is ready to push here. Let's see how hard Italy pushes back.
Battaglia directly on the Dutch side of the net. Belandi takes the first ball contact. Oh, great dig. Biasi one more time. Cirelli from the back row. No touch.
Exactly like we talked about, Netherlands keeping the ball in play, forcing Italy to earn their points. And I think they're lacking confidence a little bit here. Just contacting on that lower half of the ball, can't pull the ball in court.
Back set for Bozio. And a good block from the Netherlands again. Well, nothing really changed, but Italy is just a bit more struggling. And yes, it's not Cekon's fault, but it's since she came in that they're a bit more struggling. So of course you reverse the substitution.
Exactly what I was going to say. That was the difference, and sometimes coaches try to get someone in when the team's ahead, and then it just changes the feeling on the court. So I think this is a smart substitution here.
Well, Italy is still in front. Battaglia cannot spike this one better. Sanne Westenberg, dig by Cirelli. Bruce well positioned in position 1. No touch. Everything looks a bit harder for Italy for now.
Exactly, and I think there's just a little bit of doubt in their minds here. There's a set one-on-one, and then there's a tip back over. That's not what we've been seeing earlier when Italy was comfortable. They were attacking, so they need to swing here. That's their style of volleyball. That's how they're successful.
Let's start with a good reception. Biasi. Free ball for the Netherlands again. Tapstra for Den Haan. This connection through the middle was a good idea.
Exactly, it's wide open. Great set, great swing, but just a little bit too low and into the net. Italy gets a break there.
Francesca Bozio. Italy has a 4-point lead in this second set. Tapstra, high ball for Westenberg. A miscommunication again between Biasi and Cirelli. Biasi was moving forward to get it, and Cirelli tried to take the first contact.
And that's where Biasi needs to be loud, add a voice, and just go in there, play that ball nice and high, and Italy has no problems, but I'm not sure what was said there.
Serve on Cirelli. Bozio takes the set. Cirelli blocked by Den Haan. Well, it's interesting to see how much the Netherlands are fighting, and they are having fun. They're smiling on court again. And the second timeout is for Italy.
The pressure has moved completely from this side of the court to the other side of the court, and it's on Italy's side right now. And you can see some uncharacteristic mistakes happening. They do have the experience. They've been in positions like this before, maybe not in this tournament, but in the past, so they should respond here.
I mean, if we discuss with the experts around sitting volleyball, Italy has to win today. There is no other outcome possible. So, of course, they feel the pressure if the Netherlands finally are able to be in contention.
Exactly, and that's something that when you're playing and when I'm coaching in a situation like this, it's what you want to play. You want to play good volleyball. You want to have the ball going back and forth and have good rallies, and I think sometimes athletes don't like that. It's like, no, lean in. Lean into that and be ready to battle here.
Well, we discussed yesterday with Ivan Čosić, one of the best spiker of the Croatian team. He will be expert for the men's final later. He said it's super easy when you play a strong team to play at your level, but then sometimes you underplay when the opponent is a bit like, you know, lower level in the world ranking or whatever, it's not that easy to play your level, your sitting volleyball.
Exactly, and it's not easy to play against a team that plays a different style than you. And Netherlands plays a completely different style than Italy, and it's working here.
Let's see what Terpstra can do after the timeout. Good serve. Cirelli gives almost a free ball to Ivan Manakiwan fighting. Another free ball for the Netherlands. High ball for Westenberg, blocked by Cirelli. Well, this can be some trigger for Italy. One good block from Sara Cirelli.
Exactly, and they just kept the ball in play. We're making the Netherlands earn their point, and they got a block there. Great job.
The good thing is that Sanne Westenberg took her chance on that swing.
I agree. You didn't see a blocker slides into that spot. It's not a bad swing at all. It's great.
Bruce struggling with this reception. Maybe she was just a bit too deep into the court on Pedrelli's serve.
I think that needed to be a forehand pass for sure.
Touched by Westenberg. Good fight against Cirelli, but Cirelli is maybe one of the best blocker in Europe. And she can score this 21st point for Italy. And the timeout now for Hong Zhao and the Netherlands. Well, it took time to Italy to find the solution in this second one. It's not over, but the second timeout they took worked perfectly. They have the lead now.
Yes, exactly. And just like that, some tense moments shift, and now they have a 5-point lead here.
Well, it's much better to see the Netherlands like this, being able to give some hard time to Italy than what we saw in the first set. Of course, they tried their best, but they were unsuccessful.
Exactly, and I think they're feeling more comfortable. You can see in the timeout they're talking a little bit more about tactics, what they can do, and that's much more fun volleyball to be a part of.
Well, if you're just joining the action, this is the final, the gold medal game in the women's tournament. 9 teams were on the start line on Monday here in Hungary. And we only have 2 left for the gold medal. It will be either Italy or the Netherlands. And we'll have one last game just after this one, the men's final, before the traditional award ceremony that you will be able to follow live as well on the Paravolley Europe YouTube channel. Battaglia, nothing complicated, she just pushed it deep.
It's a smart play there. Netherlands sits high, and so that back kind of half meter of the court is wide open. Smart play.
Pedrelli. Serving Rose Bruce. Fight at the net. And you see, 2 thumbs up. The score will be the same, and we'll play that point again. 22 for Italy, 16 for the Netherlands. Westenberg, she saw some space there behind Bozio.
Great play there at the net.
Well, it's not easy. We mentioned the distance are really short. The ball goes really fast. It's really not easy to have a look on the other side of the net where there is some space because you are focused on touching the ball.
No, exactly. I think sometimes it's just instincts, but also sometimes it's part of a game plan talked about long before that touch is happening.
Renske Denhan, she had a good streak in the previous rotation. Once again, Italy struggling to bring this ball back. Well, this could be something if the Dutch captain is able to have a serve streak now.
And Italy with an adjustment now on serve receive, so they'll have their setter receiving to 3 blockers at the net.
This is not easy for Denhan. She was just coming from her serve back in to take the ball. Never easy to take the ball in front of you when you're moving.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. When someone's contacting the ball, you need to get stopped so you can react, but she was still moving into her defensive position.
Raffaella Battaglia, Italy only 2 points away from this second set. Bruce, the block from Sara Cirelli. And here is the first set point for Italy. Is it an ace? Yes, it is. inside the court. The second set for Italy, now leading 2-0 in this final.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the second set.
Well, for us, Nicole, it was much more interesting to follow this second set. And I remember yesterday, the score today is 25-13, 25-18. The Netherlands are improving set after set.
They are.
I will not predict that they will take the third one, but there is some hope. They're doing better.
They are. They're improving, and I think they're feeling better about that set. Let's see how they respond here, but it's much more fun for us, too, to talk about the rallies and what's happening, and I really like to see the pushback from the Netherlands.
And I said during the set that if Italy can make all the players participate to the final, they will do so. But when they tried to put Amachekon in, they just changed one thing in the starting six. Things did not go as planned, and they had to reverse that substitution again. So not quite sure. Maybe they will stick to the plan with the same starting six again.
I think they'll be more hesitant to make a substitution for sure this time.
Well, we'll see if the Netherlands are able to react. For sure, this competition is already a great one for the Netherlands. Can you believe that they did not participate 2 years ago in Kaol in the European Championship? They were just rebuilding the team. They had absolutely no money around this women sitting volleyball team, and now they are into the final 2 years later with very young players. There is some great hopes for the future for this Dutch team, because almost all of them are super young.
I agree completely. They have a lot of potential. They're getting better and better every time I see them. They're improving, and it shows what putting funds, putting a great coach with a team does. A lot of the times it's like, oh no, you need to get the results before you're supported. But if you support a team, if you continue to invest in them, they can improve, and we've seen that. I'd forgotten that they didn't come to European Championships 2 years ago, so it's even more incredible what they're doing here.
Yeah, when you get the performance like the one they will get today, they will get the medal. That's something, a huge performance. This is also helping to develop the game, because sometimes, as a coach, maybe you can confirm it, it's not easy to say, okay, we are progressing, we are doing better, but you also need to have results, you need to have medals, you need to have titles to prove that the work you're doing on a daily basis is working when it counts.
Yes, exactly. I think the medal's always nice to show that outcome base, and they'll have it here today. Probably higher than what they expected coming into this, but they also have statisticians working. I don't know if you've noticed behind the court. I think that's also something they're proving. They're showing, hey, we're improving, we're working on all of these things, and it's paying off. And we saw that. The receive was better the second set than the first set, and they'll have that to build on.
Did it change something for you when you came back from Paris last year with the bronze medal in Canada, in terms of how much we talk about sitting volleyball, how much we consider para sport? Did you feel something? I know Canada is a huge country.
It really is. I think that we felt something internally, and there was a little bit of buzz after the games for a little bit, but to be honest now, I think, no. That's unfortunate, and maybe it is because our nation is so big, but I'm hoping as we build back into this quad, it does continue to increase awareness around our sport.
Maybe also because you have just a bit too much of ice hockey.
Seriously, there's a lot of that.
So set number 3 is about to start. No change, neither for Italy nor for the Netherlands. Marit Holleder is back in. First reception for Cerelli, and Belandi not able to set it properly, and worse than that, she has an unforced to start the set.
No, I'm not sure there if she was trying to use her forearms and go behind her, but she needs to make the easy play there and keep the ball in front of her.
Duveman McEwan, first one to serve for the Netherlands. Cerelli, high ball. Battaglia, no risk, and this ball comes back on the Dutch side. Den Haan, a strong swing.
A great swing.
But Pedrali took the option to cover position 1. But she could aim to Cerelli in position 5.
Well, and the other tough part is there with 10 being a front row setter, you should never have that position open back to 5. We need the help from number 9 there on Italy close that block.
Reception, Silvia Biasi. Cerelli from the back row, touched by the block. Duveman McEwan just out, but that was close.
It was. They seemed to be confident it was out.
No challenge called by the Netherlands. You don't want to call a challenge that early in the set. Maybe you need them for later.
Exactly.
Good serve there. Bozio aims on the left side of Paula List.
A lot of space on that side of the court. Great serve.
She has a huge area to cover there in reception.
She does, I think, because Bosio was targeting the other side before, and now she's going after this side. They're going to need to shift.
Again, Paula List is the target. Free ball, Italy. Cirelli blocked by Denham.
Great block there at the net.
Well, that's also the reflection. If you put the high ball, you allow your spiker to have a lot of time to go under, but also the block on the other side of the net to be in front of you.
Exactly. Makes a great read, leans back into that seam.
Vitska Terpstra. Oh, well received by Biasi. And there is some touch by Belandi. She is sitting in the back row.
And she attacked that ball over the net. So Italy's saying she was lower than the height of the net with a closed fist. I still think it's a great call by the ref there.
Cirelli, despite the net touch. Paula Lis not able to cover there. And Sanne Westenberg just asked for a bit of a higher ball, if possible.
Exactly. Ball into the blocker's hands, but good blocking on both sides of the net there.
Pedrelli with the serve. Or Cirelli with a lucky cover by Paula List. And Ceccatelli. List was moving too late to close that one.
Calm on that overpass, straight down on the Netherlands side.
Good dig, Francesca Bosio. Battaglia, an easy soft spike just over the block. Power is not always the solution in sitting volleyball.
It's a great shot finding that open space in front of the defender.
Direct return, but Bosio was there. Cirelli just took too much angle and rotation on that one. She wanted to find position one there.
Yeah, nice try there by Bolandi to put that ball up, but we need to get on top of the ball, maybe a different shot choice.
Substitution for Italy. Cirelli out and Asia Sarzi Amade in. That's the VS2 substitution. Well, she was also recently qualified.
Yes.
And they have too many VS2. A girl like Giulia Aringhieri, part of the team in Paris, cannot play in that roster anymore, at least not this week.
Exactly. I think it's just circumstances because they wanted to get Asia to classify at this event, so she needed to go all the way around the court, being under review, part of the classification process. So here we see her now playing.
Paula Lis, the set for Marit Holeda. Good dig, Biasi. Ceccatelli, no risk, just in between Denham and Terpstra. No one to cover this area between 1 and 6.
Exactly, great shot into the deep part of the court as well. That's often open.
Touched by the block. Belandi tries to go with her own spike. And here is the point for Asia Sarzi Amade. 24 years old for this Italy number 13. Also a great investment for the future.
Exactly. She's young. She has a lot of potential. She's developed a lot as well over the past few years.
Belandi for her again. Good reflex. Terpstra. Ceccatelli on the line. Just so clever. She always has the right spot to spike. When the line is open, she goes on the line. And then when the blocker takes the line, she has some space into the middle.
Exactly, great vision, able to see the block very well.
9 for Italy, 5 for the Netherlands. First timeout called by the Netherlands, and Ceccatelli already has 12 points today.
Impressive.
That's more than what she normally scored in the game, but she got pretty much used.
She's been consistent. They've been setting the ball to the outside quite a bit, and why not keep going to her when she's scoring?
Well, I mentioned the young players to prepare the future. But let's mention a girl like Cekateli. She's 51. We had Paula Lies being 52 for the Netherlands. You can play at international pretty long, and I always mention that it's so inclusive. You can play young player with old players. We can play women and men together, disabled, non-disabled, and that's the spirit of sitting volleyball. When it comes to international competitions, only disabled players. But otherwise, if you want to play sitting volleyball, there is no regulation. Everyone can play with everyone.
Yes, exactly. And there's club leagues that have non-disabled people, disabled athletes that play together. You can sit down and play. You don't need a lot of equipment.
Yeah, that's really
Some
cool.
running shoes. Play. It's really, really fun. As we said, it's very difficult, though.
It is. Raffaella Battaglia. While Italy make things look easy in this final for the moment, they're leading 2-0. And the 10th point for them in that third set gives a 5-point lead to La Squadra Azzurra. Terpstra struggling with that reception. Battaglia able to target into that interval. And they have now 4 receivers. Try to find a side out. Dwiveman McEwan. The back set from Paula List. Looks like a double touch.
Yes, it's called in the double. Moving forward, tries to set the long set behind to a strong attacker in number 11, but double contact.
Well, this one is too long. What a dig by the Netherlands. And they conclude it with Holleder. But a miracle dig from Sanne Westenberg earlier in the point.
And that's the type of contact that Italy's not used to seeing coming back over. On the second contact from the back row, Netherlands sets the ball directly over and catches them off guard there.
The Sanne substitution, Westenberg out for Dubelink in. Of course, it's to have their number 8 serving now. And she's doing well. Her favorite one is from 5 to 5.
That's what she goes for.
Net fall called against the Netherlands. I think it's Marit Holleder touching the net. Just under the net level, not even sure the block touch it.
I don't think so. I think directly into the bottom of the tape. Just a bit of a rush toss. Hand coming through under the ball.
Paula List. Belandi, and another net fall called against the Netherlands. Dubelink is out again, Westenberg in. Well, it's a shame for the Netherlands to have just small 3 points given to Italy because of net fault.
Exactly, I think they're just overplaying a little bit, trying to get those blocks.
Terpstra, good swing.
Great swing.
It's maybe one of the first time we see her spiking. She's able to do it, but she never trusted herself so far.
No, and I don't think she's had a lot of opportunities. She's been setting quite a bit.
Holleder. Good set for Pedrelli. Good block, Terpstra. Belandi with the free ball. Battaglia, good reflex. And the lifting is called against Terpstra. Well, she does not agree, but it's not something we can challenge.
No.
Luckily.
Luckily for the referees, yes.
I mean, I compared it to track and fields when you have those guys or those girls walking. If you track it on a slow motion, all the guys and all the girls are losing contact with the floor.
Yes, true. I guess you could challenge it every time, and then the whole sport would be very difficult to play.
Block out. Well done, Dwiveman McEwan.
And as you said, 10 hasn't been swinging a lot for the Netherlands because she's setting, and that's a great set there.
Yeah, lifting is definitely something that the referees have to appreciate at the normal speed.
Yes,
It's
definitely.
not easy.
No.
Biasi for the reception. But Pedrelli had a Dutch wall behind her. She couldn't see what she was doing. I mean, the idea was good to try to surprise the defense.
Yeah, I think it's a bit tight there, so she didn't think she could set it, and her teammates just need to talk to her to stay tall. She can outreach the blockers, but she tried to put it low. Good block by the Netherlands.
A good serve and an ace for Győr and McEwan.
Very good serve.
Well, she's serving well today, and Italy will call a timeout. Only 4 points deficit for the Netherlands in this third set. Well, it's almost now or never for the Netherlands if they want to stay alive in that final.
Now's the time to push for sure.
Well, I try to explain the lifting because there is some kind of tolerance when you dig the ball, when the player's trying to dig the ball. It's the only moment where you can a bit lose contact with the floor. If you are moving and have some hero dig, there is some more tolerance than when you spike.
Yes. So when you're receiving the ball, so on serve receive, you can have a momentary loss of contact, and then when you're defending the ball, or now on all of defensive action, so any contact, so the first, second, or third, but it needs to be in kind of like a saving type of motion, and it's supposed to be momentary, so not getting up and crawling or taking steps to get to the ball if that's possible for you.
And we discovered during the bronze medal game before the men's bronze medal game that we can get called a lifting when you serve as well.
Yes.
If you put too much of energy into it and you lose contact, it also happened that you get called a lifting.
Exactly. We've seen that a couple times with some of our spin servers.
Győr and McEwan, the Netherlands are 4 behind. Biasi, good reception for Belandi. Good dig by the Netherlands, but Pedrelli has no blocker in front of her.
Exactly, great swing, finds that seam. Not much the Netherlands can do.
Well, they need a good reception now on Bozio's serve. List for the set. Terpstra touched by the block, but great cover Belandi. Terpstra for Westenberg. And Pedrelli, good timing at the block.
Very good block. I think that's a good vision there by the attacker looking to go down the line, but you got to add a little more pace if you want to use the blocker's hands.
Biasi is there to cover position 5. Bozio from the back row. And the lifting is called against Westenberg.
And she's nodding and agreeing. Often you can feel it when you're sitting down and playing.
Well, it's quite annoying to get the lifting called against you, but sometimes you really know it.
Exactly, especially blocking. It's like, well, yes, I was too excited.
Bozio with her ace, and the gap is increasing. Italy has an 8-point lead now. 4 receivers in the line. Paula List, this is too long. Easy ball for Italy. She faked the spike, but finally set for Pedrelli. Free ball for the Netherlands. Den Haan. And the net is moving. Belandi for Bozio. Oh, she was a bit too greedy on that swing. What a great rally.
Very good rally. Good battle by both teams. Some good coverage in there. Netherlands with the point.
Vitske Terpstra. She's also serving well. Targeting the line. Westenberg. Well, this call was not easy. It was a bit spinny, but...
Double contact, but tight call. Tight call there.
And of course, it's also something you cannot challenge, if you're wondering. Holeda for Terpstra. She's far away into the court. Ceccatelli at the last moment, she goes back on the line.
And as you saw there by Bosio, she's pretty much Superman flying through the air. And that's where I'm not sure if it's a momentary loss. She's very, very high, but maybe those are the spectacular plays they're allowing now. So great job, great athleticism by her.
Well, as long as she doesn't do any such kind of dig against Canada, you're happy. Yeah, but that's exactly what we're talking about. On some situation of the game, there is some tolerance for the game to keep going.
Exactly. I've seen it called a couple times this weekend, so I wasn't sure if it was going to be called, but no, it was allowed to go. Can see in the timeout here, setter from Italy getting a little bit of treatment. Hopefully everything's okay there. It's nearing the end of the game, but I'm not sure what happened in that last rally.
Well, that will be something for Italy because she's one of the main players of the starting six.
Exactly, and their only setter.
Well, let's say Italy's only 4 points away from winning the trophy, winning this 2025 European Championships. But they need to score those last 4 points.
Taking every second of their 1 minute timeout, maybe a few more to make sure she's okay, but she is out there on the court.
Well, she was having some tears in her eyes, like she was crying, I guess.
Yes, I don't think she's feeling great. Anything for that gold medal.
Well, maybe Petrari can do the job with her serve.
Yes.
For the first point, yes. They need 3 more. Good block, Sarziamade. I was quite afraid when I saw her coming in for Cirelli that the blocking level of Italy will decrease, but absolutely not.
No, not there for sure. She's fast, dynamic, closes that block.
Vestenberg. Belandi takes the dig. Oh, a bit of luck with the net. And this is a 13th point for the Netherlands. Well, if the captain Den Haan has some special serve now, it's maybe the good moment to have 10 in a row.
Now would be the time.
Good serve, Bosio, easy reception. Ceccatelli, no risk. And Vestenberg blocked by Sarziamade. Not a lot she could do. And here is the first match point for Italy. It is on Raffaella Battaglia's serve. Terpstra, good reception. Touched by the block. Well, Den Haan was not in the perfect position there in the back row, but she took just no risk.
Exactly. I was surprised to see it wasn't a free ball back over. Swings, gets the touch. That's what we like to see.
Sanne Vestenberg. Italy has a couple more match points. And here it is. Italy is the European champion. They were the reigning champion before arriving here in Győr, and they will fly back to Italy with the trophy. A well-deserved 3-0 victory against the Netherlands. But what about the competition for the Netherlands? They will go back home with silver. This was not expected. We had the final, quite a one-way final for Italy, but it's a great performance, boys, for Italy to retain the title and for Netherlands to get silver.
Definitely. I don't think anyone's leaving this event upset. I mean, of course, you want to compete and you want to push in a final, but you can see they're giving high fives here. They're proud of themselves. They had a great showing.
If you were with us earlier today, you know that Ukraine won bronze. We will see these 3 teams later on the podium. We have one more game to go. It's the men's final between Bosnia-Herzegovina and Germany. This will be in a bit more than 30 minutes. Thank you very much for having been a great expert, Nicole. I wish you a safe trip back to Canada. Are you flying in the next days?
Thank you. Yes, I leave tomorrow to go back home.
And when do you see we see you again at the World Cup in October?
Exactly. World Cup October, we'll be there, ready to compete.
Well, I want to thank you for this. I hope you enjoyed the trip to Europe and to Hungary.
Thank you.
It was a great pleasure, and we see you very soon again. We will be back live for the men's final very soon. Thank you very much. Take care and stay connected with us. And we are back here in Hungary, in Győr, for the very last game of the 2025 European Sitting Volleyball Championship, the men's final between Bosnia and Herzegovina and Germany. I'm super happy to have more than an expert with me. He used to play a couple of hours ago, Ivan Čosić, player from the Croatian team. I'm super happy to have you. And we have to say, it's the final we expected before the tournament between Bosnia and Germany.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me here. I'm really excited so I can be a kind of a part of the finals. Yeah, this is expected, really, not to underestimate any other team, but Germany and Bosnia are really on another level. I mean, I think the current positioning, let's see how the finals will go, is the most realistic one. So of course we're missing Russia, but they're not playing. They're a really strong team, but now how it is, I think this is quite normal and expected.
Well, there is a huge history between Germany and Bosnia and Herzegovina in Europe, but they also play at international level. Both teams were in last year's Paralympic in Paris. Most of the time Bosnia is winning against Germany, but we saw in the recent history Germany able to push them to the tiebreak. I guess they were never able to beat Bosnia so far. Of course today they will try to get gold if they can, but let's say Bosnia should be favorite in this final.
Well, yeah, especially since in the last couple of games, Jürgen Schlapp was a really important player for Germany, and now he's World Paravolley president, so he cannot play anymore. And they're missing also Francis Tolneu, who is taking a one-year sabbatical break, and he'll come back, I think, for the World Championship. And Bosnians also have a younger setter now. So it's going to be really interesting. I mean, yeah.
You also know these two teams very good. You played against them. It's not the same type of play. When we saw yesterday's semi-final, Germany is always looking to have some high balls for Albrecht. He's a good spiker. On the Bosnian side, it just goes super fast. All of them are super experienced. It's not the same time of play. Should you do some game plan to beat Bosnia, what would it be? Because they have a lot of players able to score a lot of points. The danger is everywhere on court.
Well, yeah, the problem with Bosnia, I mean, problem for us, rest of the teams who play against Bosnia, is they are quite tall. They're one of the tallest, I think the tallest team in Europe, and it's so difficult to go against a tall block, and their players are so experienced. They have so many great matches that they've played in the past, so much experience, so much knowledge, and they're always calm, and you never know what they're going to do. They play quite simple, but quite effective.
And it's funny to see that for this team, basically yesterday at some point in the semi-final against Serbia, they could play with their second team and still be performing well. We saw one of the best players maybe in the world, Sabahodin Delalic, playing only the first set, and then he was just resting on the bench. It's also the power of the bench. A lot of players can come in to help the team.
Well, yeah, and Sabahodin had a slight problem at the beginning of the championship where he had to be rushed to the hospital for some, he didn't have a right therapy for his medical problems, so they changed the therapy and he's good now. But he also has, I mean, no disrespect, but he's also it's not old, but he has really a lot of experience, and I think he's here to just push his knowledge to the setter of the next generation in Bosnia. But also he's quite valuable to the team, because I have to tell you from experience, we had preparations with them, and we would kind of, on the last day, we would mix up, and I played next to Sabahodin, and it's impossible to miss the balls that he gives you. They're floating, they're so precise, they're amazing. But as you asked before, I think maybe the best tactics against Bosnia is to kind of try to play fast and just not on the net. Take the ball off of the net, because it's the block is very high, and I think that's going to be the Germany's tactics. At least they played the whole tournament. They played like that, but except the one game against Bosnia in the group stage. So it's going to be interesting to see how Germany will adapt.
Well, basically, they played in the group stage. Bosnia won 3-0, but we have the feeling Germany decided not to show their exact tactic during the group stage. They wanted to go through. They were not quite sure to meet them again in the final, but there was this opportunity, and we are there today. Well, my feeling from here, is that the Bosnian guys are not the fastest to move on court, but they are always well positioned, always well set at the block, and the diggers are always exactly where they have to be to dig the ball.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they have exceptional one-hand technique when they try to save the ball, and as you said, they're always well positioned. They are exactly where they should be, because if you are moving and the strike opposite hitter is hitting the ball, you are late. So you got to be on your position before the attacker hits the ball. So they do it quite well, and of course it's very disciplined. I mean, the coach Ifet is such a good coach, and he really likes discipline. And for them to listen what he says, he has tactics for every team they play against, and I think they're going to stick to the tactics like the coach tells them. And I think it's going to go. I think it should be okay for them. But Germany is a tough team, really tough team with really good team spirit and with a will to play and to finally beat Bosnia. So I think we're in for a really good finals.
Yeah, let's hope for this. We mentioned the experience of Bosnia. Well, when you say some team is experienced, it means that they playing for a long time together. But more than this, Bosnia won title 2 times the Paralympic Games. It means that they are able to achieve a lot. They were silver medalists last year in Paris. It's not only about playing for a long time together. They also won a lot. They achieved a lot in sitting volleyball.
Of course. They are really legends in this sport. And I have to tell you that the Bosnians have a really strong league. So it kind of goes in their favor that in the club level, they always play tough matches. So most of the players are from like 2 to 4 clubs. So they all know each other very well. And they all play against each other, which kind of brings their level up every time.
Well, we'll see what this final has in store. We are here on the bench with Germany. Germany will play in white. Bosnia will play in black. The final between Bosnia and Herzegovina and Germany is the very last game here in Hungary. Let's talk about the week we had here, Ivan. It was quite a great venue here. This